I'm Colin Ions with about 50 years experience in HR. The subject is change management, and most of my change management experience has been around mergers and acquisitions and major re-engineering projects. And it seems to me one or two learning points from that is the essential role or changing role of HR as a function in that. I also now do some part-time work with a metals firm that's a global one, working with the MD on change there. Role of HR. Generally, HR functions are in steady state, fairly simple transactional stuff, recruitment, training, and so on. It's a huge challenge, therefore, in an M&A as to whether there's a capability within the business to meet the M&A project or the re-engineering project if necessary. HR has a key role as a change agent there and as a key facilitator of that change. Two things come to mind. One is important to get in the mind of the CEO. What really is he trying to do or she trying to do with the business? Without that, we're going to be on the wrong agenda. The secondly is the importance of the business focus for HR. It's got to be business-led. Let me look at 4 points here, I think. One is the perhaps structure of the HR function. You can simply put it into 3 areas. Firstly is what I call HR administration. And by that I mean training, recruitment, communications. That to me ultimately is a line responsibility. And we've got to therefore train the line people to be far better at that and not have a lot of HR people in it. The second area is a consultancy role within the business to understand the business plans, the business needs, and work with the business on change. But the key strategic element is the HR strategy bit. And that's the high added value stuff. It's either going to be within the business, or if it's not there, it's got to be brought in from outside. Otherwise, the M&A would tend to fail. The second thing I'd say is figures are so important, and having a real handle on the business bottom line, top line, and figures, not airy-fairy theory. That would mean things like knowing the wage and salary bill. In the Courage Grand Met merger I was involved in, we in fact lost about 4,000 people. We went from 8,000 to 4,000 in 3 years, no industrial action, no strikes, no tribunals, but we increased our market share to 18%. That meant a huge involvement of the HR function in helping the business through that. That's about salary bill, about reduction of cost and heads. In terms of retaining key people, another essential element in M&A is to keep your best people. How do you do it? And there's another cost factor there. Turnover of staff, absence and overtime are also key areas where HR should have them at their fingertips, pinching the accountant's clothing, if you like, and advising the CEO what the costs are and what there could be and how to monitor that. I guess the third area is the organization development area. If there's one area HR can make a significant input on change, it's the capability of the organization, leadership, management, and generally structuring itself to cope with change. That is clearly an HR task. No other function will do it. If they don't do it, you're going to have to employ perhaps expensive external consultancy resources. And that's looking at the shape of the new organization in the future, in the desired state, in looking at doing things differently, processes and procedures and so on. The fourth thing I'd say, and final thing, is the importance of the skills and knowledge, therefore, of the people in HR. Most HR activities can be learned, knowledge-based, nothing special, nothing professional. The one area that's got deeper professional value to the business is the psychology side. That's the organizational psychology, occupational psychology. This is where HR can make a real significant input to the organization's effectiveness. And what do I mean by that in terms of skills? Well, I think in that change, 3 or 4 come to mind. One, influencing persuasion. It's not an executive role, that's the chief exec. But you've got to persuade, influence colleagues to go down a certain road. Secondly, coaching skills, coaching directors, chief execs, important coaching element, and ultimately managers having those coaching skills supported by HR people. The other one is facilitation skills. It's not CIPD material, this is working with groups of people to get them aware of the change, to lead them through a change program and understand the implications of that. And that needs a high level of skill input. The other bits and pieces there are the psychometrics, if you like, of looking at group dynamics or individual psychometrics in terms of are people fit for the new organization and the desired state. At a personal level, that means 2 things. Huge amount of stamina. Secondly, mental and physical toughness. You're going to get knocked around. It's not for the soft-hearted. I'd suggest on all those change projects, if it's not done inside, it'll be done externally. Unless HR people really get hold of this, it won't improve. And I think there's a significant contribution to be done there. So that's the role of HR in change.